Hi, I'm Nicole Krolak, and we're here at the 2023 University of Virginia Investing Conference with Secretary Chuck Hagel. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. You touched a little bit on geopolitical tensions, specifically Russia and Ukraine, the Middle East, and potentially even China. So could you tell us your thoughts about that?
Well, what I said, and thanks for having me, was I think you've got to understand, we all do, that this world is interconnected. 8 billion people on the face of the earth, 8 billion citizens. And so everything that goes on in each region of the world connects to the rest of the world. And so the areas that you talked about in conflict, serious conflict, are affecting us all. And it's important that we contain this, we stop this as soon as we can. There are issues involved, historical issues, in both of these cases that make it more complicated. But the serious loss of civilian lives has to be dealt with, has to be stopped as soon as we can. Diplomacy is incredibly important. It always has been. But for our future, it's going to be more important so that we can get along in the world, so that we don't attack each other, so that we don't blow each other up every time we've got a difference of opinion. So I think it's all of those things that we have to factor in. It's a tough job to lead. I think President Biden's got some of the toughest issues, challenges any president has had in recent history. So the Congress has to work with him, and I think the leaders of other nations as well, to try to resolve these issues.
Yeah, and could you expand a little bit on the U.S.'s role in all of this?
Well, the fact is the United States is the leader of the world. Whether we like that or not, we are. We have been since World War II. We've built a world order post-World War II that's helped more people, brought more peace to mankind, more education, more prosperity, more hope than any time in history. No World War III, no nuclear exchange, that's all pretty important. And so we are the one country that has the capacity, the trust of other nations to help bring peace to the world. We can't do it alone. It's bigger than us. But we can help, and we can bring our resources and what we represent, freedom, and the nobility of freedom and treating people right. We're imperfect. We've not done everything right in our history and still don't. But you look at comparing the United States with any other country in the last 75 years in the world, I'd say we come up pretty well. And we still got a lot more to do.
Yeah, I completely agree. And then I guess to finish this off, can you talk a little bit more about what happens next?
That is the question that's always the most important in any conflict or any relationship. What happens next? How does this end? When does it end? There are consequences to these conflicts, and there will be significant conflicts to these wars in the Middle East and Ukraine. And we try to obviously factor that question in what happens next so that we contain it, we eventually stop it. But in order to do that, you've got to ask the tough questions. How does it end? When does it end? And what happens next? So it's the most fundamental question, I think, that we have to ask ourselves in a situation like this. When we were in the long wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, I don't think we asked those questions. And hence, the two longest wars we've ever been in, 20 years later, and neither ended very well.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Secretary Hagel. This has been the 2023 University of Virginia Investing Conference. And thank you again.
Thank you.